I mean, you've worked with the height of athleticism in the NFL. Does he have that sort of NFL ability already?
He does. Several of those guys do, though.
Yeah.
You know, I look in that secondary. There's a lot of future NFL players there.
Greg, when you put on the film of Baker Mayfield, I know you've seen lots of quarterbacks maybe with this skill set similar. What is the key to stopping somebody who can do what he can do out there at quarterback?
Well, it's not just what he can do at quarterback. It's they have a really good scheme, so they have an integrated run game with their pass game. But I think what makes him most dangerous is when he creates, when the play breaks down and he begins to create things. You know, he scrambles, but he scrambles to throw the ball down the field. He does a very good job of keeping his eyes down the field. And I think what's occurred there over time is their offensive line and their receivers know that he's great at doing that. They really work hard at finishing plays. So we're going to really have to maintain discipline in our pass rush lanes. We're going to have discipline when he begins to scramble, plastering on our receivers. You know, eye discipline is going to be critical this week in the secondary and linebackers. He's a fine player.
Is there anybody that he reminds you of that you've prepared for in the past?
Well, yeah, there is. I liken him to, when I was with the Bears going against Brett Favre.
Oh, really?
Because he's that unpredictable. You know, he'll be scrambling this way and chuck it that way. And you know, how do you coach that other than be disciplined and stay with your guys? And that's the kind of really fine athlete that he is.
How does he compare to? Does it give you knowing that he has those, capabilities to throw it down the field and scramble, but that you also have guys in the secondary that have been pretty good at stopping some of those long passes?
Well, I love our guys, so I'm excited to go play with them. But this is definitely a step up in athleticism we're going against as well. So it's no disrespect to the first two teams, but we're playing. This is big boy football now, so. I'm excited to see our guys in the response and going on the road too. This will be our first road game. I think it's always interesting when you take a young team for the first time away from home. It's just us, and that's what it'll be. I mean, we'll have our fans there, but other than that, it'll be just us in that hostile environment. So, looking forward to it.
Do you think they're ready?
Not yet. It's game Saturday though, right?
How much of a mystery? Oklahoma State's got their basketball arena there. Ohio State's already rented that out for a Buckeye Bash. It's sold out. This is going to be your first taste of seeing what Ohio State fans travel like. What notions do you have going into this, and what are you expecting out of this Ohio State fan base?
I really don't have expectations. I haven't given that much thought. It'll be nice. I know we travel well, which will be nice to have, our scarlet and gray there for sure. But at the end of the day, you got to go out and perform. And so if we bring a lot of people, it's still going to be very small compared to what Oklahoma has, and that's part of going on the road. I think Urban does a great job preparing the organization to go on the road, and it's our job as assistant coaches to do it with our individual groups, get them ready, not only for the football part, but the mental and emotional part. And I think we have a plan, and we've just got to go execute it this week.
Greg, I was talking to a couple of the players after the game Saturday, Malik and Marshawn, and they referred to like their study sessions, whatever, other than the game, as like lab, and they all enjoy being in that lab and stuff. And is that refreshing to you? How have you cultivated, I guess, that kind of like feeling among the group of looking forward to preparation?
Well, I think a lot of that starts in recruiting the right guys, and I think Coach Meyer and the staff have done a great job of recruiting guys who love football. And when I say love it, I mean they enjoy every part of it. They enjoy being in the locker room, hanging out with the guys. They enjoy studying tape, going through the plan, and you don't make them come. They're in your office. Mm-hmm. And I think one of the things that this staff does a very good job of is cultivating those relationships and really making the guys feel home, at home in our offices.
And do you get a sense these guys are not ready maybe today, but are ready for this challenge Saturday night, your group? I mean, the four guys in the backside, I mean, what tells you that they're coming along the way you want them?
Well, what you mentioned, the way they're preparing, the way they're working, when you see them prepare and then they go out on the game field and execute, that's why you do all that preparation work. Yeah. So hopefully what it does is it reinforces wow, this works. So let's even do it a little better. And we challenge them every week. Go out there and out-prepare yourself this week. So whatever you did last week, find a way to do it just a little bit better the following week. And if you do that, you're playing your best football at the end of the season.
And can you speak to the beauty, I don't know if that's the right word, of Malik Hooker? They ran that one play. You guys made the adjustment. I'm talking about his interception, his pick six. He comes off the far hash and it just looks like a receiver running a route, but he probably did it exactly the way you wanted him to, I'm thinking. What is it like to be coaching a guy like that who can take almost words and turn them into a play?
Well, he's not alone. There's a lot of smart football players out there, and that adjustment they made. Tip my hat to them. Yeah. They saw the play. They saw it a second time, and it was out of a different formation. The second time they ran it out of a stack formation.
Okay.
So I thought it was really good that he recognized that even though it was a different formation, and if you look at it, it's a total group effort. Worley holds it off just a little bit longer this time than he did the first time. Yeah. So the quarterback just has to clutch it one more time. That's really what, playing good defense is 11 guys fitting the puzzle together. It's not one guy, and Malik will be the first to tell you that. But what it does do is allows Malik to go make that play. Mm-hmm. And, it was a really good play.
Coming into the season, I think most people thought this team would be very much a mystery going to Oklahoma. Given what you've seen on defense, first two games, is it still a mystery, or do you have a pretty good feel for what you guys are capable of and how you should play?
Well, it's going to be a totally different setting. We're going to be away from home. We're going to be playing, a historically great program. Well, we're playing this is, like I said, big boy football. Right. And do we know how they're going to respond? No, they've never been. A lot of these guys have never been in that situation. A few of them have, but a lot of them haven't. So what you do as a coach, I think, is you just try to prepare them the best you can, and then you have faith that you recruited the right guys. And I believe we did. I believe we have the right people here. But that gap between knowing and doing is the biggest gap there is. So we got to go do it.
Hey, Greg, they've had 14 different players catch passes already this season. What are the challenges posed by a team that comes at you like stormtroopers like that?
Well, you're right. It's been interesting. Last year the tight end wasn't as involved as he is now. Now he's all over the place.
And the running back has 5 catches too.
No kidding, and some of them spectacular catches. So it just goes to show the level of athleticism that Oklahoma has on offense. They have a lot of experience. They have 7 returning guys, starters, and they have like 4 or 5 guys that have a great deal of experience. So I think that's what they're doing. They're utilizing the experience they have and spreading it around. And I think the quarterback, he lends to that because he is a guy that, okay, we call plays that are designed to do this, but then if they break down, all bets are off. And they're very well trained that once the scramble occurs, receivers, there's a plan. They're not haphazardly just running around. So we're going to have our hands full for sure.
How much of a challenge is 2 running backs that can catch the ball as well as they do opposed to a second?
Well, the 2 running backs that run it as well as they do first. I think these are 2 of the top 5 running backs in America on the same team. Mm-hmm. So that's a huge challenge, right? And then throw in, like you said, the fact that they both are good receivers, and you're playing 2 very, very complete running backs, which it's hard to just defend them, but then when you start dedicating resources to do that, you're pulling, it's robbing Peter to pay Paul. Mm-hmm. Something's got to give. So it's a challenge, and that's why we're in that room right now trying to figure out the best way to do it so we can give our guys a chance, give our guys a plan that lets them go play. That's going to be the key, that we stick a foot in the ground and go as hard and as fast as we can.
Coach Meyer mentioned Eric Smith as a guy that's making a move here recently. What do you see out of him, and how can he fit in with what you're doing now?
I think he's doing just what he needs to do. When you come back from an injury, severe injury, surgery like he did, it's got to be that gradual climb. And I think probably 10 days into training camp, he kind of shifted gears, and he hasn't stopped. He's kind of just accelerated. And, I told him just the other day, he's performing like a starter. And that gives you confidence that he's doing that. So every time he's gotten in the game, he's done the thing he's supposed to do. And I thought he made a really good play on that slant in the latter part of the game Saturday. So I have a lot of confidence. I know our staff does. And if called upon, he'll be ready.
Were you surprised at all by Robert Landers' contributions on Saturday? He wasn't on the depth chart in week 1 and was really out there making plays against Tulsa.
I get to see him in practice, so I wasn't. I think we call him BB, but he's really, and he's a little bit different body type than those other guys, so I think that also lends to him being productive. He kind of changed of pace. But no, to tell you, I wasn't surprised.
I think he'll continue to get playing time.
That's something we Coach Johnson does a great job of. We play a lot of people up front, which I think helps us. We're young and we rotate, and I totally trust Larry with that rotation.
When you say different body type, what do you mean? Like why does that help him, I guess?
Well, he's a little shorter
Okay.
than some of those big guys in there. He's twitched up. He really can fire, with low pad level. As long as he stays down, his low is different than the big guy's low.
Okay.
So it's a little bit like that hot knife through butter. When you get your pads underneath somebody, you can come spitting out the other side, and he did that a couple times Saturday.
Do you think it caught him by surprise? I mean, just kind of because it was different?
I don't know. I think what he did is he played incredibly hard. That's what he did. And whether you're 6'2" or 6'8", if you play really hard, good things usually happen.
Greg, how have you and Luke meshed? I mean, he's obviously been here a long time. You're the new guy. You also have a pedigree. How did you guys talk about meshing, and how's that worked?
I think just really open conversation about everything we do. I think we're both at the stage in our careers where I don't care who gets credit. It doesn't matter. It's the kids who really should get the credit because they're the ones doing it. And our job is to just put them in a position to give them a chance to go play as hard as they can. And, if we can simplify the scheme and still get done what we need to get done, that's our job. And he's really a good guy to work with. And so are Larry and Kerry. I mean, you're talking about three real true professionals and three guys that I think are as good as there is in college football at what they do. So it's been a pleasure to just go in and meet with them every day.
Did you have a conversation early on, as soon as you got here, or you've been talking about coming here, where you said, okay, I'm not sure how this is going to work. We need to really talk before I accept, or as soon as I get in here, we have to hash this out?
Well, a lot of my preconceived notions were what Urban told me. And, Urban's feelings were he's you guys are great guys, you'll figure it out, it'll work, and it has. And I think that's when you get professionals who really only want one thing, and that's the team to do well and win games. You put that first. That's what we ask our players to do. That's what we do. That's the only thing that matters around here. And whatever you can do, because at the end of the day, we're here for one thing, the players. That's it. Without them, there is no us. So, and that's what Luke and I both believe. Our whole staff believes that. So that's how we go.
Coach, how much do you practice and coach what a player and the team should do after the pick? Because you've obviously had some success in that area this year. I mean, Malik had that right. block and
We worked very hard at that. One of the things we tell our defense is great defenses score touchdowns. Good defenses take the ball away. Great defenses take it and score. And we're not there yet, but we're getting that feeling about, we get our hands on the ball, we got to put it in the end zone. And to do that, it takes all 11 guys. I thought that really showed our culture, that interception return by Marshawn. You saw guys that were just straining their guts out to get a block. There were some really good blocks, more than just Malik's on that play. And those are the things as a coach that you sit back and say, okay, they're hearing us, they're getting it. We just got to keep driving it and driving it. And again, this group wants to be coached. That's the best part about them. They're very talented, but I've been around talented groups that don't want to be coached that much. This group is they're like sponges. They want to be coached.
Greg, going back to Baker Mayfield for a minute, how do you compare him to JT? I mean, obviously both mobile guys, but
I don't know. I don't like to get into comparison of players that are playing in the game.
Okay.
I kind of go and I compare him to guys that I've prepared for over the years, and he's that kind of unpredictable. Right. I think he's really dangerous on the perimeter, whether it's designed perimeter passing or when he creates off of pressure. Doesn't mean he's not a good pocket passer by any means, but I think it lends too when you're a guy who's not 6'4" or 5. It helps you to be on the perimeter and be throwing through throwing lanes a little bit more.
Does it at least help your defense that they've played against JT in practice, a smaller guy, a mobile guy, things like that? Maybe not exactly the same, maybe does some different things, but at least they're prepared against a guy like that in some senses?
I think probably more the schemes, like our offense and their offense, do some things that are similar.
Okay.
So we get the opportunity to do that. We get the opportunity to face tempo.
Right.
That's one of the huge advantages we have here in going against tempo teams is that our team provides great tempo.
Yeah.
So defensively, that's kind of who we're a no-huddle defense. And I think that helps as much as the individual guy behind center.
How tough was it on the defense going against the tempo that Tulsa was playing on the field, and will that help with playing Oklahoma next?
Well, really, the first 2 weeks have been up-tempo teams, so I think it will help us. I think what Oklahoma does, and it's hard, without having live scouts in college football, you have to go by TV copies, you have to go by a feel, like, you can see when you learn to watch a game tape, are the chains set? Are the other defensive guys moving around, not ready to play? Well, that usually means they tempoed them. So I think what Oklahoma does a real good job of is kind of like a race car. They put off the gas, they put on the gas. They control the tempo, but it's not consistent. They'll slow it down, they'll speed it up. So we just need to be ready all the time for mock speed, and then if it isn't, we get a chance to catch our breath.
How do you feel your defense has done against that in the first 2 games, just playing against them? Saturday seemed like Tulsa had a little bit of success early, but then backed off. What do you see y'all's defense doing that's, I guess, encouraging for you in that regard?
Well, the hardest thing when you get a tempo team is, you play through, the down never stops.
Yeah.
So as soon as the whistle blows, you got to run, not walk, run back to your spot and get ready, get the signal and get ready to play. And if you're a little bit off, it's not glaring, but you're not in the same stance you're usually in, or your eyes aren't exactly where they're supposed to be. And that's, those little things are what get you. So how have we done? We've done okay. I mean, we could be better, and we're going to get better at doing it. But again, it's a mindset of just as fast and as hard as you can, and we have to keep it simple so they can get lined up and go play.
Greg, a lot of defenses set goals, and I think most, I'm sure you are. Turnovers gained, other than shutouts, are probably right up there. You guys lead the nation in turnovers gained after 2 games with 9 and stuff. Is that above expectations? I mean, are you Are you surprised by that stat? Or?
Well, I'm pleased with the number of takeaways we've had, but we need to, that's something that you need to be able to continue that. Sometimes they come in clumps, and I think if you're really a top defense, it doesn't. You have to do it every week. You have to take the ball away.
As you got ready, y'all are getting ready, how much do you look at what the Clemson defense did to these guys last year, and then obviously Houston had some success against them too, and kind of rattled Mayfield? It looked like. Do you look at those games more than anything else?
Well, we'll look at everything, but I think we are who we are, and we make adjustments to what we do, but we're not going to all of a sudden say, oh, let's run Clemson's defense this week. We do what we do. We're constantly looking how to just tweak it within a game plan. To me, that's what game planning is. You take whatever's in your menu of defense and you fit it to what they do offensively. And it's not always easy because they're getting paid too. They're scheming it away. So our thing, again, though, more important than anything, is that our guys know what they're doing so they can stick a foot in the ground and go as hard and as fast as they can. Because when they do that, they're good. I
asked Raekwon this question a while ago, and his answer was tackle the guys more than anything else. But when they jump in there and have that, like what I call a quasi wishbone look with Mayfield up front and Mixon and Perrine, 2 big-time backs, what's just sort of the thoughts you want your guys thinking as they face those kind of like options?
Do their job. Yeah, if you do your job as hard as you can, that's our job as coaches to make sure that your 11 jobs fit together and stop the play. And if they don't, then we've fouled up. But if all of a sudden one guy's thinking too much and he's not going as hard as he can, then it's our fault. We got to make sure that we give them a chance to go play as hard as they can, because like I said, when they do that, they're good.
Great. Coach, thank you
very much. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, man.